everybody. This is Mary and Damien. Welcome to our second podcast.
And today we'll be talking about the new Batman movie, directed by Matt Reeves, starring Robert Pattinson, Zoe Kravitz, Jeffrey Wright, and Colin Farrell.
And Paul Dano.
Yeah, yeah. Actually,
Sorry.
it's yeah. We should definitely mention this name as well, and Colin Farrell.
Yes,
Yes.
which was shocking.
Actually, we were just again on purpose. We didn't discuss anything about the movie since yesterday, since we watched the movie. And I only mentioned today like shit Colin Farrell was like well, I mentioned something about Colin Farrell in this movie, and Mari was like, why, like what, Colin Farrell was there? Well,
Was Colin Farrell in the movie?
yeah, and then he was Penguin, and whoa.
Yeah.
That was some pretty good
Transformation,
makeup. Like, I hope the person that was in charge of the whole makeup and characterization of like visual transformation, I really hope this person will get some award this or next year, because it's amazing. Like, it's amazing how they transformed him.
Just wouldn't. I just wasn't aware. I just
Yeah,
not any second.
and it's not only visual part, like the way he plays the character, it's wow. Like, I really liked it. Yeah, I mean, that was not our intention to talk about Colin Farrell in like the first minute, but since we started, well, I think we can follow with Colin Farrell. He played amazing. I liked this version of Penguin. I didn't think Penguin can be like really realistic, not that grotesque,
Yep.
and yet very well done, like adapted. Like, it still has the core, like the core of who's Penguin.
You still know who you're talking, like who's that person?
Yeah,
It's like obvious, but it's very well. It's just very well adapted.
yeah. It's like you immediately know it's Penguin,
Yeah.
and he has like it's him. It's him, like, definitely. And the way he's played, I really like how he's portrayed, like from those noir movies I love, like from 1930s, like this old school gangster, like from Prohibition times. Like, he even speaks with this nice accent, like like, how are you fellas, stuff like that. He owns a club, and secret club, and he's like, it feels like he was taken out of some old movie from, well, Bogart, for example, like black and white old movie, or the first Scarface, stuff like that. So he's amazing. I loved him in the show. What I liked is that the guy is super smart as well. He's damn smart. He's very compelling antagonist. And shit, I really hope we will see more of Colin Farrell in next Batman movies.
Yeah, me too, actually. Now that I know it's him.
Today I read that they are planning to do a series, like, series about him, like a spin-off about Colin Farrell's Penguin.
Aha.
So this one can be nice.
Oh, that would be cool.
Yeah, it can be very cool. It can be very nice. Yeah. So I liked him a lot. I liked how he was portrayed. He's, all dynamics with Batman. I don't know, I really liked him. I liked the idea.
And I liked the fact that it was really well shown that he's a middleman. Like, he was still in his middleman part. Like, he's the bad side, but he's still not the most.
He's real.
Yeah.
I mean, he's not like crazy villain, like,
Yeah.
he's not evil. he's just like, he's a gangster, he's a businessman of a kind. He's just a nice, probably psychopath and all. But he's not like crazy. He's not like evil. He's just, well, like a typical gangster. So
Yeah.
yeah.
Talking about psychopath, can we do spoilers? Yeah.
Oh yeah, of course. As always, basically we'll always do spoiler review. I think
Yeah.
that's our goal. Like,
I love spoilers. I mean, I know people hate them, but I love them.
yeah, and discussing
And-
movie without being able to
To
discuss.
spoil.
I mean, I know a lot of people like non-spoiler reviews, and I love to watch them as well before watching the movie.
How
but
can you do that? A non-spoiler
No,
review.
when I only want to know, like, if the movie is nice or not. Like, there are people like YouTubers and critics that, for example, I know they have similar tastes as me, and I only want to know if they liked or not. Like general
Ah,
stuff, like if the direction is good, the pacing is good, this kind of stuff, to kind of know what I can expect, but don't want to know the details.
okay.
So that's what non-spoilers review are for. But we won't do that. Like usually we see movies like few days after the premiere, so there's already plenty of non-spoiler reviews. And for a podcast, like the idea is we will be discussing those movies, so it's pretty much difficult to discuss between us the movies without spoilers, what we liked.
And anyway, I'm the queen of spoilers,
Yeah, she's
so
queen of spoilers.
yeah,
That's
we'll
the
just do spoilers.
Besides, we do that on purpose. We don't discuss the movie after watching it until recording this podcast, so it's just impossible not now to just shoot with all those spoilers.
Yep.
And as you can hear, this movie we're actually very excited about, and we liked it. And as well, actually, I remember when we were discussing previously Matrix Resurrections, around 7 minutes, we already kinda discussed more or less the most,
Everything.
core part of what we liked, disliked, and stuff.
Yeah.
And here, I feel like we didn't even begin to
Yeah,
speak about the movie,
that's
what
true.
what we liked. So yeah, the movie is definitely worth watching. So maybe to properly start with, as we were saying at the beginning, as we were gonna say, the movie is a reboot of the Batman franchise, and its story is not connected with the DC expanded universe or any previous Batman film. And to be honest, I liked it. In my opinion, for like now, the best DC movies or Batman movies or whatever, the best ones are the ones that don't try to set up any trilogies, shared universes, and it's just they just focused on a nice storyline, like with Joker.
Yeah.
It's a movie like we had a movie about Joker. It wasn't about setting up new villain and 10 next movies. It was just about Joker, his character development, what made him being Joker. And here we have basically a very similar thing with Batman.
Mm-hmm.
And I don't know.
No, I do. And I think what I like the most, because actually I didn't even think about the Joker when we watched that movie. You at the end of the movie you have like the Joker, it's back and everything, so
Which
you
was
can.
super unnecessary for me.
It
It's
wasn't.
one of the very few things about the movie I disliked. Again, we have short appearance of Joker, which is unnecessary. It doesn't bring anything. And it's like fourth actor who plays Joker in like 5 years. So
Yeah, but no, for me it was like a strategical move from the movie company, because maybe you want to make another movie, so you
yeah.
want to say like there will be the Joker, you have
But
more antagonists and stuff like
we
that.
had so much of Joker, and I don't want to see Joker like anymore, even in movies. And besides, we had such a great Riddler and other
Yeah.
good antagonists in previous years that why we still need Joker?
No, I mean the Joker, and I mean, but that's not what I wanted to say. What I wanted to say is that the movies that what I particularly like about the Joker and this movie is how modern they are. They're like modern operas. Like they just fit super well in what we're going through at the moment. Like in terms of civilization, in terms of social problems that we face, in
Yeah.
terms of they are so real, and that's I think what one of the stuff I would miss with other heroes, that it's not about superpowers or anything. It's just like it's very like the root, like you can make a copy paste. We would have a Gotham in our universe, like the universe we live in at the moment. That's a totally plausible scenario, because it's not out of the blue. Like the issues they have, like the Riddler and everything, these are real people. These
Yeah,
are
it's yeah.
yeah, it's like it's not different from what we face every day.
Yes.
And I think that's what that's how powerful these movies are, because you have like that, like, wow, that's the Batman. Like, I mean, I was happy, it's like,
Yeah.
wow,
No, but it's
the
very
Batman.
well done. Like that's
And
what I like. Like, Batman for me should be very realistic. Like
yeah,
I don't enjoy
exactly.
Batman who is too much of unrealistic shit. And I think this movie is well. Before I said many times, people, you will see it will be the best Batman movie ever, and it's not perfect. It's still for me not the perfect adaptation of Batman, but it's the best I've got so far. What comparing to what I expected.
Oh, and we have to say that we watch because, like, to make a little Batman background, my mom is like a background fan of Batman. Like, she made me watch Batman when I was a kid. She was like, "Oh, it's Batman time!" Like, I like Batman
The famous the
cartoon.
animated series. The
Yeah,
all Batman fans know what it is. Like
yeah,
Bruce
and
Timm's Batman.
exactly. And it's like I wasn't especially a fan of Batman, but I was like, okay, my mom's happy about it, so I'm just happy about it. I'll go and watch. And it became kind of a tradition, but then I didn't watch the movies before. So we watched these movies like
Christopher Nolan's trilogy. I saw. I showed Mary the trilogy very recently, like last month.
three
We
weeks
watched the whole
ago.
trilogy in 1 week.
Yeah, exactly. So we have like the comparison, and it's like these movies were kind of like there were. I mean, there were stuff that were nice in these movies, but they were very, very not real. Like
Yeah,
not real enough
it's
to be the Batman.
yeah, it's like the whole point and idea and how they were you know described and all.
Mm-hmm.
Like the I would say the origin idea was that well everyone was like this will be very realistic take on Batman, like the Batman in real life and stuff. But to be honest, after watching this trilogy for the third time, it's like the first one I don't buy it as a realistic movie. This League of
Yeah. No.
Shadows stuff. There are realistic moments, some nice moments. It's not like I don't say it's a bad movie, but it's definitely not the best Batman for me. Batman Begins. But in general, I don't enjoy it that much. For me, it's like if you are a teenager, maybe you can say, oh, it's realistic Batman. But to be honest, for me, it's as much realistic as Iron Man or Captain America.
I mean, it gives you the rush of wanting to be a superhero.
Yeah.
It's like and that Batman that we just
And
watched.
let's just be honest. The
Sorry.
movie is about League of Shadows who want to destroy Gotham.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, they could do better in terms of realistic storyline.
Mm-hmm.
And now we have comparison. Like now we got realistic Batman movie, and you can really see the difference.
Yeah, it's like and it's like if I have that previous trilogy, like, oh my god, that's so cool, I want to be the Batman because I will be like a kick-ass millionaire and that's gonna be so nice. Like, I definitely don't want to be the Batman in the movie we watched
and I
yesterday.
never
Like,
liked Christian Bale as Bruce Wayne. I like him
okay,
as
yeah, me
Batman.
neither.
I don't really like his voice as Batman, but I like him as Batman. But as Bruce Wayne, I never liked him as a Bruce Wayne. Then the second one in the trilogy was better, The Dark Knight.
Yeah,
But the only good part about this movie is Joker. Like,
yeah,
if you guys think about it, without Joker, if we only leave the whole Batman storyline, this crazy trip to Hong Kong, this Harvey Dent stuff, and all, it's not that great movie actually. I mean, it has some moments, but apart from few moments, mostly related with Joker, the movie itself is not that good for me.
mm-hmm.
And to be honest, my favorite movie is the end of the trilogy, The Dark Knight Rises, cause they don't try to sell you anymore the idea that it's very realistic take on superheroes. They go a bit into just superhero genre. They go a bit more in science fiction. So if they have to do that, I prefer it in this way that they do it more openly.
Mm-hmm, mm-hmm.
Like, okay, the story is totally from comic movie. Like it's just like you could say it's a story from comic books, but it's okay. Like if they don't try to convince me it's something more realistic and something that could happen in real world, I can buy it. And I really liked Catwoman. in The Dark Knight Rises, or about Catwoman. We will talk definitely today a bit more. But I really, until until yesterday, she was, I think, my favorite Catwoman. But yeah, I liked Bane. Like, I really love Tom Hardy's Bane. And again, like, why do we need Joker? We had two amazing Jokers, Heath
Yeah.
Ledger and this from 2019, and like, we had Bane. Yesterday we had Riddler. We had a great Penguin yesterday.
Yeah.
And it's like, we had, in the last few movies about Batman, we had like some more like compelling villains. And imagine now, just imagine in those times of the whole crisis and, you know, earth resources, etc. Like, if someone is creative, imagine what you can do with Mr. Freeze or Poison Ivy.
Oh, I wouldn't think about that. Yeah, that's true.
Yeah,
Wow.
you can go in many directions. Like, and there are a lot of just good antagonists in Batman universe, and I would really love to not see Joker for the next 10 years.
Actually, I would really like to see Poison Ivy. I
Yeah.
would really like to see her.
Like, if you don't do it in some cringy fantasy way,
Yeah.
it may be very interesting. But let's see what we'll see what they do. Like, I liked the first movie. People behind it, like the whole creative staff behind it, did a very great job. So I have high hopes for future Batman movies. And well, yeah, we'll see what they will do. By the way, Marie still hasn't seen the Tim Burton's movies, so we definitely should watch them and comment them as well, because those are like from 80s, and they were kind of inspiration for the animated series you watched as a kid. They were more grotesque, more
Yeah,
dark.
that's I'm a bit worried about this movie because it's Tim Burton, so you know what to expect.
Actually, trust me, you don't.
Really?
It's
Okay.
it's more like noir Tim Burton. Like,
Oh.
Joker is more like noir, a bit grotesque gangster. Penguin is very different from the one we saw yesterday, but it's very interesting, like, portrait as well. And
Okay.
Catwoman is actually great as well.
Okay, so that's interesting.
And
Okay.
then I really hope to watch soon with Marie the Batman vs Superman extended edition. I mean, the movie is not perfect, but
Extended.
no, because it's better.
Okay.
Because it's less cut, so you have more development of the story.
Okay.
But of course, the movie is not that great, but the whole Batman part in it is very nice. And like, Alfred for me is very. They did similar take on Alfred in this movie as well. And as much as here you have very young Bruce Wayne, there you have more like older Bruce Wayne. It's like 50 something Bruce Wayne who's been like already legend in Gotham. And he goes just more and more brutal on those guys, and he actually kills in this movie. And he's like obsessed with with killing Superman because he sees him as potential danger to the world.
Okay.
So we should rewatch it as well. So yeah, but
But what you said about I wasn't convinced about Robert Pattinson being Batman.
yeah,
I wasn't, and I'm actually surprised. Like, he did well.
I believed him since the beginning, because people only remember that he's Edward in this Twilight.
Yeah, that didn't
But
work
the
for
guy
him.
stepped out like from the movie industry to focus on independent movie for many years.
Oh, I
Like,
didn't know.
so he's actually like very invested in being actually an actor. So I believed in him. I like him as a Batman. I like him as Bruce Wayne.
Yeah.
I like the idea that here Bruce Wayne and Batman is basically the same. Like, he doesn't really develop this alter ego of Bruce Wayne, because let's be honest, Batman is real Bruce Wayne. Bruce Wayne is alter ego. It's never like
Yeah.
the opposite. But what I like what they did is that Bruce Wayne is just as much, fucked up guy as Batman. I like this idea. Like,
Yeah. No, that makes sense. Yes.
I like it more than, I mean, I understand why Christian Bale's Bruce Wayne, for example, did what he did as Bruce Wayne, but I don't know, I like this portrayal.
No, I liked it as well. I really liked it as well.
What I really like is that I'm a very fan of noir films, and I loved how they did this. That he's a narrator of this movie, like he narrates the story from his point of view, like those old detectives. That's what I really love about the movie. Like Batman started in detective comics. Like the story was about vigilante, but who's detective. Like at first, like the idea was that the guy is super detective. So I first of all I like the idea that he's a detective, and since it has this vibe of noir movie, it's cool that he does like all those detectives in old movies, like Humphrey Bogart, like he's narrating the story from his perspective. So I know some people dislike this idea, but I loved it.
No,
Like
it makes sense.
I very like it. I like the detective film vibe. Like you can obviously, I mean, they said that openly, but you can say the movie was inspired heavily by Seven, David
Yeah.
Fincher. That was the idea since the beginning.
Okay.
So I like that. Like it's a detective movie with Batman, and well, who would be better villain for this kind of movie than Riddler?
Yeah.
So I really like. It's something I liked.
Actually, I didn't know. Like, I didn't know because I didn't like watch or read anything about the movie before, and I didn't know it would be the Riddler.
Ah,
I had no idea,
okay.
and 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 I'm actually like, and you don't know who's the Riddler. You mean like, I mean like the actor until, I don't know, like for a lot of time in the movie
No, basically until the end.
until the end. Yeah,
I mean, I knew because I read about the movie, but if you didn't, then yeah, for
yeah.
you
No, I
just
didn't know. Totally, I didn't know, and I was super. First, I was happy to see the Riddler like that. I was super happy to see him
it
like that.
wasn't like cartoonish, grotesque.
Yeah,
Someone finally reinvented the character to make it realistic and
exactly.
cool.
Yeah.
Like he's like for me, like he outclassed Joker.
Yes, because he's. I don't know.
I mean, it's a different kind of
It's a
psychopath, but
exactly.
it's someone who kinda it. I see him at least as an equal to Joker, like to being a real deal, like a big deal.
Because they're
It's not like
both.
this weird guy in a weird suit with interrogation signs doing hee 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 and stuff like that.
Yeah.
Like
No, he's very real.
yeah,
He's very real. And then I
damn, you
didn't.
should have seen Jim Carrey as Riddler. That's
Oh,
you would know what's the difference between cartoonish Riddler and
of course. Yeah,
a real
because
one.
that Jim Carrey. So of course,
Yeah,
yeah. So that's very different. And and I was very happy to see that. And then, of course, I double checked who's the actor, like the actor name, because I don't know the actor's name in general. So when I realized that this guy is Paul Dano, I was so pleased to see him
yeah,
because I didn't, like, the last time I saw him was in Little Miss Sunshine, and
yeah.
I liked him as an actor, but he was super young. And to see him, like, to see his performance, he was really good. Like, he was extremely good in his in the way he played. He
He
was,
steals the show.
yeah,
Once it's his 5 minutes, he steals the
he
show.
just, like, he's the Riddler. Like, he's just totally in the Riddler. Like, it was amazing to see that. So for me, because I didn't know about any of that, that was pretty brilliant that we were facing the Riddler, and it wasn't because it was a Batman movie. Of course, I knew we wouldn't face the Joker because the Joker is, like, we already had a movie against about the Joker.
Yeah,
So
we have movies with Joker, like every second movie with Batman is with Joker.
yeah,
I'm so
and
tired of Joker already.
no, and I mean the last interpretation of the Joker we had
Was great.
was great. We don't need to touch that. Like, just, like, let the Joker be the Joker, and that's it.
Exactly.
So I was super happy about the Riddler. About that, I was super happy.
Yeah, yeah, me too, me too. Like, I would say now he would be in my top 3 Batman villains.
Yeah.
No, it's difficult. No, it's difficult to say. Like, I mean, until now, my favorite live action Batman villain, I think it was Bane. Anyway, I don't know. It's a bit grotesque, but well, the movie's point was that. But I don't know. I love Tom Hardy. I love how he portrayed. Again, the Bane in this movie was great. But now my top 4 would be like Bane, Riddler from this movie. I mean, Joker, but it would be ex aequo, like Joker from the Joaquin Phoenix movie and Heath Ledger. And Penguin. Shit, I think Penguin will be my favorite actually now. Like Penguin and Bane. But then the third one would be Riddler, and shit, Joker wouldn't be even in the top three anymore. That's how that's how good other antagonists were in those previous movies.
I mean, I never. The last Joker movie.
No, it's not about him being villain of Batman.
It's not about exactly.
But
It's just
you know he's Batman's enemy, so I will always treat him like one. You know.
okay.
That's the point. I mean, it's not in the terms of being Batman's villain or nemesis, just in terms of everyone knows who's Joker, so it's like it counts for me. But actually, I thought about it many times since the movie. I mean, I know it's not the same universe, but for example, this Joker movie, the action takes place in 80s, and the crazy fucked up Joker in The Dark Knight, it's 2008. So I always was like, I really like this, theory that it still may be the same guy. Like how even more fucked up he went from. I mean, it's not exactly the same kind of personality, but I don't know. It would be nice, like somehow to be able to connect those two versions because I really liked both. You will see Jack Nicholson soon as well. So.
Wow, that must be a
No, that was
beautiful
more grotesque,
interpretation.
but yeah, it was 80s, and it was also heavily influenced by neo-noir. So, by the way, mentioning noir, I just love noir vibe. This movie has a lot of noir vibe. So, they promised us a detective story, neo-noir movie, and I think it's a neo-noir movie, and I believe it's detective story. So,
yeah, it is.
what I expected, I got. And then talking about genre and stuff like that, we cannot not mention the visuals. The visual part, like visual part, definitely the best Batman movie ever.
Yeah.
Probably one of the best superhero movies ever.
Yeah.
In terms of the whole visual part, like contrasts, frames, colors, pacing. Yeah, everything related to visual part.
Yeah, the scenaristic.
The colors.
It's beautiful. The
The
colors
color
are.
part, I think it's heavily influenced by Daredevil Netflix series, which so far, paradoxically, for me, it's the best Batman ever. It's Netflix Daredevil, but that's the topic for another podcast. But the visuals, even the simplicity, how it opens, like DC logo, the Batman titles, there is no animation, no big creative CGI, whatever. It's just sign the Batman on red with a simple font, and then we start the movie. And I like the Gotham, how visually they did Gotham, like city full of neons. It's like, it seems a bit futuristic.
I was happy to see that actually.
For me, it's like probably how people imagined future New York in 80s.
Yeah. No,
A lot of neons. I like that. And it's like some Tokyo, but American Tokyo, and yeah, I loved it. I loved it.
And it was nice to see that city is not only like the terrible city you see in other movies. Like it's like you had that much more balanced. Like it's a city because like usually when people
It has
talk
something
about
like you see this city and you will remember it. Like it had something that made it unique. Because in the movies of Christopher Nolan, it's just a city. I mean, it's the storyline and all. It's good. It shows how corrupted is Gotham, but visually speaking, it's just a big city.
No, but
Nothing
that's the
exceptional.
point. No, it just shows how like it's like when I see these movies and people are like, I'm wondering why would people even live in Gotham? Like, why is that? Why you have people living there? Because it's so much focused on the corruption part that you see all of the corrupted parts, like everywhere that is just terrible. And in that movie, you have much more normal point of views. Like you see other like other buildings, you see other places that seems like livable, like acceptable.
But for me, really, like Barton's movies, Gotham was grotesque. It had its own unique grotesque Barton style. In this movie, Gotham was like, I remember it because of the visuals, like all those neons, modern architecture, stuff like that. Christopher Nolan movie, I mean, he gave us the soul of what's Gotham,
Mm-hmm.
but only visually speaking. It's just a big city. Nothing that would make, like, I don't know, New York, you have Statue of Liberty. Like Paris, you have Eiffel Tower. Gotham in this movie has neons. Christopher Nolan's Gotham is just a city, like a random big city. Nothing like that would even make you remember how it looked.
But it's funny because now that I think about it, even in the Gotham series, that the one on Netflix, I don't think we never really found a good balance with Gotham. Because even in that show, you don't really have a balance either. Because you just focus on that beautiful apartment where Gordon lives. So it's beautiful, it's luxury, wow. Then you have, how to say that in English, les bas-fonds. You have like the terrible places. So you just have like luxury,
Yeah, it's
police
ghetto
station,
or
ghetto,
luxury. Which
and
actually
corrupted
depicts
places.
better and better how the world changes. That's how world started to function lately
Yeah,
in some places. But anyway, yeah. But I know what you mean. This Gotham is like a balanced Gotham, like
much more, yeah.
a realistic city.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I like in terms of portraying Gotham. I think Joker and the Batman, both movies show it great. The
Yeah,
problems of Gotham, like Joker, for example, showed Gotham like from a point of view of normal citizen, like just random Gotham, like
yeah.
not poverty, not wellness, like
Like a
wealth,
normal
just
city.
normal city. And this movie, I think, does it as well. And I think Christopher Nolan's Gotham was just very mediocre. Like, I don't know. I didn't like it visually.
But it shows the heritage as well. I mean, you can see how much of a medieval city it is. Like it's like gothic medieval city. Even like the Wayne Manor.
You will see
You
gothic Gotham in Tim Burton's movies. That's gothic Gotham.
okay? Cause like, but it's very. You can see the heritage because you can see like it was the first time I would see the manor, the Wayne
Mm-hmm.
Manor, like this. I was like even like, oh, they didn't do it like it's like I wouldn't like to be a child growing up there. Like it just seems creepy, you know. You have like very old furnitures and it's I mean it's beautiful, it's heritage and everything, but it's like you can see how old of a city it is.
Yes,
And yeah, that was nice.
it was nice.
Oh, and talking about the old cities
Uh-huh.
and the root of the cities, it was also interesting to talk about the Arkham family, the Wayne and Arkham
I think
family.
I read today. I mean, I'm not really into comic books, so I cannot tell you. But I think they invented it for this movie.
But that's nice. It
Like
makes sense.
before this, Bruce Wayne's mother wasn't from this family, or at least not always. But it's a nice idea. I like it. How he was, yeah, Prince of Gotham, like two wealth
Exactly.
families kinda together, and
Yeah.
yeah, yeah, it was interesting. It was a nice catch, yeah.
Mhm. Yeah, it was nice. Like and especially when we talk about corruption because it's Gotham, so and it's Batman, so we talk about corruption. It was super interesting to because usually like Waynes are like amazing people. They're rich, amazing people. They help everybody. They're like brilliant and you had that much more. Well, okay, the Waynes were nice people, but it doesn't mean they were not dirty. Like you can find dirt everywhere.
I
And
loved it about Joker movie. Remember there, Thomas Wayne was shown as, as typical rich person, like
yeah,
good outside, but he was just a rich prick.
yeah, yeah,
So it was nice. I mean, in this movie, it's nice as well to show him like neither good, neither bad, just a normal person. Like no one's perfect. So
exactly.
Thomas Wayne isn't either. But I like that. I like this take on Thomas Wayne in general.
Yeah, me too. I like the fact that they're kind of like detronized. Like they're not
Yeah.
the most amazing family of rich people on earth. No, they're like they just have dirt like everybody, and I like that.
Talking about them, what I really love about this movie is that finally I didn't have any, like, even very short flashback of how the parents died.
Oh
Like,
yes, that's
I am
so
so
yeah.
freaking tired of this scene. Like, I saw it in Tim Burton's movie. Then I saw it again in Batman Forever. Then I saw it again in Christopher Nolan's movie. Then we even saw that in Batman vs. Superman movie as a short flashback. It's like, we already know. So I really don't have to see again with different actors the same scene. We all know how they died, and it's time to stop showing it. Like, everyone knows.
And
We don't need it anymore.
that was one of the point of the Riddler, actually,
Yeah.
of being like, okay, you're an orphan, but
Yeah.
like, man, you're not like as close. I mean, I don't say like he lost his parents and everything, so of course it is hard, and it's hard for everybody, but it's like you're not as close as other orphans than
Yeah, I
than
mean,
than we are. Like, you're like unconnected, you're disconnected of reality anyway.
yeah.
And I think that was nice to point that out, because everybody's like, oh, the Batman is an orphan, so he just went like berserk and now he wants to help
Every
people.
superhero is.
And yeah, but it's like, that doesn't justify.
Yeah, I agree. I agree. Definitely. I agree. But that's also what I liked about new Spider-Man movies, that finally we didn't see Uncle Ben's death. So I appreciate that they finally accepted the truth that we all know how they died, and showing it all over again is just pointless. So yeah, that it was nice not to see it. We mentioned the nice opening and visual part. I really liked the Batman entrance in this movie, how they showed him the first time we see him. And what I really loved, I mean, Christopher Nolan's movies played a bit with this idea, but you didn't feel it the way you feel it here. How he used fear. Like, in this movie, you can really feel what Batman means by saying he uses the fear. Like, you can really see, like, the guys feel fear for him. Like, yeah.
But
It's a tool. Like, you really see it as an actual psychological tool
Yeah.
that he uses against people. Like, they are kind of paranoidal with him being somewhere out there, this weirdo in a mask, who will just break their bones.
but that's nice, because I think that's one of the things the movie was also focusing on, like how the border is thin between what's good and bad, because it's like the bad sides uses fear as well, and the good side uses fear as well. So how do you use fear? What do you generate with it? And you had as well that when that Riddler follower at the end
Yes.
was like, I'm vengeance.
That's
And-
the point. Like, even Riddler thought they are the same. He and
Exactly.
Batman, they play in the same team.
Exactly, and it's very thin, but because it is very thin.
And it was nice the moment he realized, like, because he says I'm a vengeance, like, for the half of the movie, and he realized that if he follows this path, Riddler will be right. They will be
Exactly.
like, it was actually him. He didn't understand it, but he kinda, what he does every day, that made Riddler think they are doing
Yeah.
the same. Like,
Yeah. Because it's not different.
yeah,
He takes a
vengeance.
cause. Exactly.
They
and
just do their vengeance in different ways.
because they have different stories. Like, it's just like he takes a cause that is like close to his heart, and he feels that this is the good thing to do,
Yeah,
as much as the Riddler is right. I mean, and the Riddler also, it's bad what he's doing in the movie, of course, but he's right. He has a very good point. He's fighting something that is real.
yeah,
So,
yeah, it's true.
And I like that, how thin, like, where is the border? What is good? What is right? Can we say there is a good? Can we say there is a right? When are you good? When are you right? Like, all of these questions about, don't judge people too quickly and like categorize that, oh, that's bad, that's good, that whatever, because you were the bad ones and you will be the good. Like, it's just like, balance. And I really liked that.
It was a nice moment, but also, I mean, it was nice when he realized he needs to stop being vengeance and start being justice.
Yeah.
And it's amazing how also they did that visually. First of all, he jumps to the water, and it's like, symbolically, you could say, he's reborn
Yeah.
when he goes out. And then visually speaking, like during the whole movie, Batman used the shadows. Like they fear him because he's a man in the shadow. You, it's like people are afraid, bad guys are afraid, to go into a dark corner because he may be there.
Mm-hmm.
So the moment he starts to the fire, like the light, it's
Mm-hmm.
also like very symbolical, like he steps out of the shadow.
Well, he's the
He
light to
brings the
follow in
light
the
now.
shadow.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yes, but he starts like the light.
Yeah.
So and you can see that people feared him. Like you can see the reaction of people. Like it's not only bad guys. People fear him,
Of course. Yeah.
and he's kinda the moment of change is nice, and it's amazing how visually it was good. Like how they like the message is not only the storyline itself, but the visual part says that as well.
And that's exactly, and I think that's one of the only movies we see the Batman during daytime when
Yeah.
he helps that person, like he's carrying someone out of that building and
Yes.
he's helping. So that's true. I didn't think
And
about
it's
it like
nice
that,
how
but yeah.
smart they showed how he operates as Bruce Wayne as well, and as Batman. I mean, how he works on cases in a smart way as well, not always in the Batman costume.
Yeah.
And it's nice how visuals are a part of storytelling in this movie.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
And oh, by the way, what I really love about this movie is that we have less gadgets and it's smart. Like, we don't have drones, airplanes, super Batmobile. The Batmobile is fucking cool in this movie,
It's so
but
nice.
it's just a good car, not
Yeah.
super Batmobile. Like, it's not futuristic. He doesn't have those science fiction gadgets worth millions of dollars.
Mm-hmm.
And it's nice because, first of all, I never liked this shit, only in cartoons. Secondly, if you don't have gadgets worth millions of dollars, it's not super obvious that who can be Batman. Like,
Mm-hmm.
I mean, he has this nice costume, but let's say you don't need to be a multimillionaire to owe the stuff people see him owing.
Yeah.
He
Yeah.
has a
Yeah.
good
Yeah.
car, he has costume. That's all what they know he
Mm-hmm.
has.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, that's true.
So
That's
it's
actually true.
smarter. Like, in this movie, you cannot tell. When you watch Christopher Nolan's movies, it's like it's so obvious. Like, how can you not see it's Bruce Wayne?
Yeah.
Like, it's obvious. The guy disappears for years. When he comes back, both come back. Batman has equipment that not even US military have. So in this movie, it's less obvious. And he has a cool Batmobile, and that's the end. No air jets, airplanes, ultrasonic, whatever. No.
Mm-hmm.
And I like the realistic take. There are some futuristic gadgets I didn't like this stuff he puts in his eyes to record.
No, I like that. It was smart.
I just don't like. I never liked futuristic part of Batman, like the gadgets, but still, it's I think the closest to the comic book and the most realistic take on the gadgets motif. So I liked it. Okay, it's okay. In this movie, I cannot say he has too many gadgets. It's kind of okay.
I like the lens because it's just smart to have it.
No, the lens. I mean, the technology. For me, it's a bit too futuristic because we don't. I think we don't have this in real world. This lenses that can record.
Yeah, but we have pen that can record. We have stuff like that. I
Yeah,
mean,
so
it's
they
not that
they
far.
they could have used that. He could have a small camera in somewhere in the mask that you cannot even see, and it would be more realistic already.
Okay.
So
Okay.
I don't know. I didn't like it, but it's one of the very like maybe 5 things I didn't like about the whole movie. And well, the whole movie I enjoyed a lot
But I
in
think
general.
it made sense in that it was in the eye because it's like what is the Batman seeing? If it's a camera. But okay, no, but I didn't think about the little camera actually.
And what I liked is that he used a bit of makeup for the eyes.
Yes.
I mean, it's shown because
Finally.
in other movies it's obvious they use it.
Yeah.
When the actor has a mask, you can see it has some makeup,
Yeah.
but always when they unmask, it's never there.
Yeah.
So it's nice they just acknowledged that
Yeah.
he must use it, and it's nice. Besides, I really like the mask. I love the costume. The costume is more realistic. He has like military boots, very practical costume,
Mm-hmm.
and I loved it. I loved the mask. Again, visually speaking, I think it was partially influenced by Daredevil costume from the Netflix series. Maybe not, but I remember when the first photo came out of the costume, like official photo, even the colors, the shot was very much like from Daredevil. So maybe it's a coincidence, but anyway, I loved the costume. Costume was very nice.
It was. It was. Apart from, how do you say, the cape that he, but because he's the Batman, so he has to have one. But
Yeah,
that's still not a smart move. But okay.
yeah, but it's still far better what we got
It's far better.
before.
Yeah, that's true. That's actually true.
So yes, I like the costume. I think even in one scene we can see that under the gloves he has those boxing bandages
Yes, we
on
see
hand.
that. Yeah,
Even that is nice and logic.
yeah.
So those little details add a lot.
It does. It does add a lot. No, he was. It was really nice. But the makeup, I was really. At first, I was like, and then I was like, of course that makes sense.
Yeah, it makes sense.
Yeah, and I really like that. That's true.
Of course, people before watching the movie, after seeing those photos, were like, "Oh, emo Batman, Robert Pattinson will be emo Batman, blah 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 blah," and then it makes sense. Like he looks good with this.
Yeah.
I mean, still my favorite Bruce Wayne, I think it's Ben Affleck, but this one is great. And one other thing I like about this Batman, in this movie we don't have origin story. Batman is already operating for 2 years, so we don't see him becoming Batman because we don't need it, because we had the whole Christopher Nolan's trilogy about that already, and I really don't need it. But it's a nice period for Batman. He's 30 something, he's already Batman for 2 years, so it's not like his beginnings, but he's not yet this super experienced veteran Batman yet. So it's a nice period because I don't think we saw that much of it for Batman before.
I actually liked that we saw that he's imperfect. Like he falls.
Yeah,
Like he makes mistakes.
he makes mistakes.
Yeah.
He's even Riddler points out like you are a good detective, but you are not as genius as I thought.
Yeah, and I liked that. It was
And
good.
yeah, but what I like is that again we don't need to know the origin story. We don't need details. We all know who Batman is. So what I like about the movie is that it just starts randomly. Like he's Batman, we know he's Batman, and that's it.
Yep.
No one explains us how it started, stuff
Yeah.
like that. He's been Batman for 2 years. We all know that. We can all imagine how it started, and that's it. Like this, we are in the middle of the story already, and the story just goes, and that's how it should be.
Yeah, that's true. And
Like with Bond movie, they don't explain you every movie like how it started or every 5 movies. He's James Bond, you know who he is. Every movie is just a mission of James Bond. That's what I expect from Batman now. Like
yeah,
I just
no.
want to see Batman in action, new storyline, nice storyline, nice, compelling villain, stuff like that. But that's it.
And I liked his voice.
Yes, it wasn't as, damp, as silly as Chris, like this
Yeah.
Bale's, voice.
And especially that you could see that when he's Bruce Wayne, he's most of the time silent.
Mm-hmm.
He doesn't talk much. Like he talks to, like, we see him talking as Bruce Wayne like very few times.
Yeah.
And I really like the fact that his voice was not like kind of like a weird
It's not like
sort.
Christian Bale trying very hard to sound,
Exactly, like I'm the Batman, something like that. It's
Yeah.
not this. It's like
Besides, the guy's fucking rich. Like in Christopher Nolan's movie, the guy is so rich he could have just buy himself some fucking synthesizer of
exactly,
voice. Like
yeah, true.
Batman of Affleck had that shit.
Yeah, and that made sense actually. But and this here you have like that. I could compare his voice to more like a super calm voice of Batman, because you actually need to have your shits together when you're in the Batman. Like when you're transforming to the Batman, you need to be like in sort of like a meditative state of being like just calm, not afraid of death, not afraid, just not afraid. So you're like just like in another tone, like he was in another tone,
Yeah.
but it made sense. It wasn't like just weird. Like when the other Batman talks, I'm like, just stop talking. What are you doing?
One more thing I really loved about this Batman movie. It's first time they show that on screen and it was just great. I loved that. When like he's just a human, so when he's already beaten up and he's just laying on the ground, tired, beaten and all because he's human.
Yeah.
What did he do? He fucking dragged himself. He injected himself with
Yeah.
some drug, like adrenaline kind of drug.
Yeah.
And he got this boost, and it totally makes sense. Like, I don't know, I love that. Like, he's not superhuman. Like, he was so like, I don't know. It's just so fresh for me. I never thought about that. I know, like for example, I read some soldiers, stuff like that in the Soviet Union before. I read in some books that they used to do, for example, methamphetamine to when they were already tired and they needed to focus, to be in action, and get this boost. They used methamphetamine and other stuff. So I liked it because it makes sense. Like he dragged himself to get this boost to get up and beat the guy up. So
Yeah, and that's one of the only time he loses it actually.
yeah, he loses it.
Yeah.
And it's the part that one of the very few things I disliked. The movie, I understand it's PG-13, not R, but that was the most unrealistic part for me. Batman basically was beating guys up, like to the pulp, you could say, like just beating like a boxing bag. So normally after that, a face should be just smashed, like it should be just a pulp instead of a face. And the guy had even no blood on his face after that. And that's the only part I didn't like. I know it's definitely because the Warner Bros. Wanted the movie to be PG-13, but no, I think it's a mistake. There should be more blood in this movie. Again, Daredevil, for me, it's like how it should be. Like in Daredevil, when Daredevil smashes someone's face, you don't see the guy's face that nice.
Yeah, it's not that clean.
So there was not even blood on his gloves after smashing the guy's face. I don't know, I didn't like it. I mean, if you want to show violent Batman, just go full. Like, if it's violent, there must be blood. I'm not some fan of gore and stuff, but story-wise, if you want to show Batman smashing someone's head for like 20 seconds, there must be blood. If not, it's just for me like weird. It's just weird. It's not realistic anymore.
I didn't think about that. I mean, of course I had that like, oh, why is that guy what happened? That guy doesn't have blood.
Like in real life, it was to the point that you can kill someone from smashing so
should be
heavily,
dead.
and the guy, the face was like untouched.
Yeah, that's okay, that's true. Yeah, he should be dead.
Yeah. This one and some less realistic stunts. I think in the movie there were some cool stunts, but not that realistic. But apart from that, to be honest, I think we already mentioned everything that I disliked about the movie, and it wasn't much. I think, as I said, 4 or 5 things maybe. So in general, the movie is great. And yeah, brutality, I think they should aim for more. I still wait for brutal Batman movie, like Daredevil Netflix series again. But yeah, the movie I really liked. Few things we still didn't talk about. Music.
Oh, the music.
I like
was
the
good.
soundtrack. A lot of people are saying that it's very monotonous. It's just basically one music line for the whole movie. But I liked it.
Yeah, me too.
I like the movie. Some people are complaining that there's not a scene when there's no music. But I don't know. I'm a Star Wars fan, so for me, the more music, the better. I like music in the movie. And this Nirvana song, I'm not a fan of Nirvana or its, songs. But shit, this song was just... It fits so well in the movie. In all the moments you didn't feel it forced. It's just like... I want more Batman movies, and I want this to be, a traditional part of the soundtrack now. This song.
Yeah, and I mean the music for me was perfect. It didn't bother me at all.
And again, like they are like the visual part, like how visual plays with storytelling and with music, like all of it fits so perfectly. Like visual part, audio part, so audiovisual part, and story. Like everything fits. The music fits perfectly the moment, what we see on screen, and the storyline. It's like well, it's very well directed. Like directed, it's amazingly well. I love how the movie is directed. Really, like the guy did great. It's this director made reboots of Planet of the Apes, like realistic Planet of the Apes origin.
Oh,
Yeah, we may see those one day. And other things.
we didn't talk about Catwoman.
Actually, I thought to put it like last but not least. part.
Okay,
No, but we
sorry.
can talk about Catwoman. Let's talk about Catwoman.
I was happy that there was no sex scene.
But there's none in Batman movies. It's very rare actually in Batman movies to have sex scene.
But you have, I mean, okay, there is the tension between them. I think they complete each other, and there is some kind of tension. Like there is some kind of like
It's nice how since the beginning they know they are
obviously made for one another. It's like
no, even if not made one for another. It's like they both come. They are like from the same world. Like
yeah, they need each other. They're like yeah, they need each
they
other.
both feel this thing in common between them.
Yes, yes,
They both have this same kind of darkness and stuff in
yeah,
them.
and it wasn't consumed. Like that attraction between them wasn't consumed, and I think it's nice.
Yeah. Actually, you asked yesterday, and I read. In comics, she's bisexual as well. I've read.
Okay.
So it's not like they brought up in this movie.
Okay.
It was like that before. Well, what can we say more about Catwoman? First of all, in general, not, well, except this very famous shitty movie with Halle Berry as Catwoman,
Yeah.
all Catwomen before were pretty, well, I liked all of them, like from modern movies. I mean, from Tim Burton's movie, I really liked Michelle Pfeiffer as Catwoman. It was more grotesque, but it was great. And then actually, the Catwoman we saw in The Dark Knight Rises, I really loved the portrayal of Catwoman there, which is very similar to this one. If
Yeah.
you think about it,
Yeah,
it's
it is.
very similar take on the character. It's very, I would say, very similar. Like it's almost basically the same character in both movies. So I really liked. Before, my favorite Catwoman was this. I think it's Anne Hathaway, no, who played it.
Come on, you're asking me names.
I think it was Anne Hathaway, yeah. But anyway, Zoe Kravitz is so great as Catwoman. I think it's the best Catwoman ever. Like, best live-action Catwoman ever, in my opinion. I don't know why I always imagine her this way, like even visually speaking. So, yeah, I liked what I saw in this movie. I liked Catwoman. Definite for me definitely it's the best live action Catwoman ever.
Yeah, she's really good.
And yeah,
I forgot what I wanted to say.
it's nice how they didn't force the romantic relationship.
Yeah, I really like that. No, I'm very happy about
And she
that.
didn't discover his identity.
Yeah.
What I would like, there's an animated movie of Batman where after all of those years of sometimes fighting each other, sometimes cooperating, just crossing each other, Batman and Catwoman finally they discover their identities. That was so nice about the movie. Like they've known each other for years, like Catwoman and Batman, and they finally reveal their identities one to another. It's like big whoa. So I would love like to have now one movie or two movies without Zoe Kravitz Catwoman, even though I loved the character, and then like have a third or fourth movie if they are good and they want to continue with them, and just see them like discover finally the identity of him.
Yeah, because that was one of the thing that I wasn't happy he knew, and he was even calling her like Selena, so he knew who she is, and she didn't. Also, I don't think she cared.
Yeah, I think that's the point. Like, she's not vigilante, she's not superhero. She wasn't even called Catwoman in the movie, so she's just Selena.
Yes, she's just Selena. That's true. Because she just she just didn't. She was doing like her own like thing. She didn't care about that, but it wasn't right. It wasn't right that he knew and she didn't.
Yeah.
But that's just a detail. That's not really important.
No, but Catwoman was nice. I liked Gordon in this movie.
Yeah.
I liked very much Gordon in Christopher Nolan's movies, but this one I liked even more.
Yeah. Yeah, I don't know why actually. I was thinking about that. I don't know why because
I don't know. I think it's just the actor is very cool and he
and
plays
the
it cool.
relationship.
The relationship, yes.
It's very good.
Their dynamics are great. We don't know how they met, how it started, how it evolved. Again, we get just this Gordon trusting Batman and being this like good cop and bad cop.
And this Batman trusting Gordon. Like
Yes.
that's one of the few
Not like in Christopher Nolan's movies when he uses Gordon, but he doesn't really, you know, he doesn't give anything in return, like to make the relationship equal.
Yeah.
And here they are like partners.
Yeah, exactly.
And he respects Gordon, he trusts Gordon, and I like it. I really liked it.
And I liked how openly, because not everybody is on Gordon's side.
Yes.
Like people do not like the Batman. And
Yeah.
everybody is wondering like why the hell do you work with that person? And I really liked that it's like Gordon's choice to be partner with the Batman. And even the moment when he's like, so you're gonna beat me up and you're gonna take the keys, and it's like,
And look how smart he did it, that even Gordon didn't expect being hit at this point.
yeah, that's true. and it's good that they both know, so they played on the fact that nobody liked, like, and everybody, like, of course you can imagine that people were like, oh, you see, you were trusting the Batman, but the Batman did this to you, and you were wrong and everything. So you can see that they're both ready to play these sides of good and wrong, but and again, it's what is entirely part of the Batman. It's the good and the wrong, and the perpetual fight of what is good and what is wrong within the bad and the good fight within the Batman. You know what I mean? It's like the Batman is his own antagonist. Very easily the Batman could fight the Batman.
Yes.
And I really like how it was always portrayed, and how in every relationship that we could see, it was here. It was always here.
I would really be happy if we watch, this Daredevil series, because you would really see a lot of those topics and ideas there. Like, for example, when Daredevil meets Punisher, the line between them, it's
thin.
even Punisher says that, like, he's not far from becoming Punisher. Like, the line is very, thin. Like, what makes Daredevil better than Punisher? They do the same illegal thing. Punisher just kills those guys. But it's not like Punisher is like crazy evil psychopath. It's like the line is not that far. From Daredevil point of view, Punisher is, goes too far. But where's the line? And who's the antagonist? Why Punisher should be antagonist and Daredevil not?
Yeah, no, it's just the Punisher does everything his justice because he cannot trust the justice that is in place.
Yeah, but that's what Daredevil does as well. Daredevil is a lawyer and he doesn't believe in the system, so he beats guys up and guys end up in hospital with broken bones because he doesn't trust the system. So they both don't trust the system.
Yeah, okay, makes sense.
So, yeah. Once we watch this show, we will have a lot to think about this idea either. But yeah, for Batman, it would be nice to have an antagonist, or at least anti-hero in the film, like Punisher. Like the guy who does similar thing to Batman, but he kills.
And especially in Gotham, like, it's one of the, sorry to say that, but, and it was really well shown, like, how dirty is that whole society and that city. Like, you cannot trust anybody there. So
Yeah.
it was really well shown that actually, at some points, the Batman should just get rid of some people, because if they go to Arkham, they're gonna like be used for whatever reasons, and that's gonna end up like terrible.
True.
Like, it's not a good
It
idea.
never ends. It never ends good. Yeah.
Exactly, it never ends well, and that's very. I mean, it's kind of, it's his line, like it's his border. Like, he doesn't want to kill because he doesn't want to be like them. But who's them? Like,
Yes.
like that's yeah.
Also, you mentioned the police. I liked. I don't really understand why I liked it so much, but yeah, I think because it's going back to the origin. Like in so many movies, they focused on how Batman is on its own and police is, chasing him and stuff.
Mm-hmm.
And here we went to the beginning. Batman is kinda, well, police is not happy about it, but he's in the crime scene. He's called to the crime scene. He officially like cooperates with them. It's not like in the Batman from the 60s that police calls him, "Oh, Batman, please come here." But he is there. He's working with them. He's on the crime scene.
Mm-hmm.
And I think last time I saw it like this in this way was all those cartoonish movies of Joel Schumacher, or maybe even those from 1960s. So I liked it. I liked it. It was like, I think the movie goes back to the origin of Batman in a good way. Like it leaves behind the cartoonish infantile stuff, but what was good and nice about original Batman stories, they brought it back.
And what is interesting is that not everybody is unhappy about the Batman being here for the same reasons.
Yes.
And that I really liked as well. Like, it's like everybody has their own reason to not want the Batman to be here. That was nice.
True. That's what nice in general about modern vigilante stories, those topics like where's the line, if it's good, if it's not good, the reasons why vigilantes should be, not should be. In
Yeah.
general, the whole vigilante motif, it's always polemic.
Yeah.
Because, where's the line? Like, what's good, what's bad? What if the Punisher is wrong and he kills innocent person? It's like, yeah. And, well, I thought last but not least would be Catwoman, but there's one more protagonist we should mention at least. Alfred.
Oh yeah.
People say he was basically unnecessary to the storyline because he kinda is, but he's so
No.
well played that I just liked him there, even if his role in the whole storyline is not crucial. I like the portrayal. It's Andy Serkins.
Why are you telling me names?
Well,
I don't
he's
know
just
who are
well played
people.
character.
Yeah.
And I like the idea of him being some ex-commando, the idea they've been teasing like for a while, because even this nice butler from Christopher Nolan's movies, this nice grandpa was also some kind of ex-soldier.
Always.
Then you will see some nice ex-commando badass in this Ben Affleck movie. But I liked him here. It was nice. It was the first time they actually focused on their relationship, as Alfred not being only a butler and sidekick, but also the guy who
Raised
had to
him.
step in as in the role of the stepfather,
That's how they
like
show.
father figure.
Yeah, that's how they show that Bruce Wayne is human.
Yeah, but they never showed that before. He was always or butler or nice grandpa uncle or something like that. But they never showed like the more complex thing behind it. Like he needed to be his father kinda,
Yeah.
and he raised him.
And you can see that, like, that's the only moment he acts childish. Bruce Wayne acts like super childish when
Yeah.
he's with him. Like,
Yeah, it's the only moment he lets himself being spoiled teenager.
yeah, he's like an angry teenager. And no, I don't think it was useless. Like, it's like we would.
It's not useless for the whole Batman character development. It's useless for the storyline itself. Like the whole intrigue would follow basically the same without him mostly.
Yeah, but we would have only the Batman then.
No, that's why people say he's unnecessary, and I understand he's not crucial to the plot, but I don't think
Yeah.
he's unnecessary. Like, I liked the fact he was there. I liked it a lot. I think the movie benefited a lot from having
Yeah, me
him.
too. No. I like that. And I like his accent.
Yeah,
I'm always happy when he starts to talk with his English accent.
you know the guy was Gollum in The Lord of the Rings.
Oh man. Wow.
Yeah, and Snoke in Star Wars.
Oh, well, he was human in this movie.
Yeah,
And
finally he was human. He's like Hollywood's expert now for these CGI characters like Gollum, how to develop them and all.
Wow.
But yeah, it was nice to see his human face. It's like with Johnny Depp. Finally, when you see Johnny Depp without makeup, it's so weird to see Johnny Depp.
Yeah, that's true. But it's nice.
But yeah, it was nice. Alfred was played very well, and maybe he wasn't my favorite Alfred. I mean, actually, I liked very much Alfred from Christopher Nolan's movies. That was definitely one of the best things about
Yeah.
those movies.
We
I
were,
like.
yeah. No, sorry. No,
I
it's
liked
true.
Alfred in the Affleck movie, but definitely top three of Alfreds at least. Like, yeah,
Oh, I really liked him as well. I really liked him. Of course, what you're saying is true. Like in the trilogy, this Alfred is just like,
nice grandpa.
yeah, you just want to live with Alfred
Yeah,
because
you wanna
he's
cuddle him.
exactly he's just like, but and also because we see much more of him in these movies.
Yeah,
Much,
like the depth of the character.
yeah, exactly. You see how, but I don't even imagine a Batman movie without Alfred.
Yeah, it would be weird. I was like, at first, I was like, shit, that was brave. They killed him off. But I don't know. I was kind of relieved he survived. But on the other hand, it would be more like Seven movie if if they killed him. So I don't know. It's not like I'm happy he lives, but maybe the movie itself would be like strong. I don't know.
No,
I don't know. But I'm happy he lives.
Alfred has
I
to
want to
live.
see him more. So.
Yeah, me too.
And today I read the Robert Pattinson and the director, they mentioned some possibilities for future movies,
Oh,
and they mentioned like they would like the idea of having Robin there.
Robin.
Yeah, eventually.
Wow, good luck with that.
What do you think about bringing Robin there?
Well, just what I said. Good luck with
I
that.
mean, they brought Penguin, so
Okay. No, which,
Riddler. They made Riddler
Okay.
like look serious. So
I mean, if someone on this planet can make a good Robin,
yeah, it's probably them.
I'm very happy about it. Like, I'm actually super happy
look,
to see that.
Actually, Christopher Nolan did a good job with Robin. He teased the character, like it wasn't Robin from the comic book, but the way they brought him and teased him was very realistic and good take.
Okay, yeah, no, that's true.
So I think it's possible. Depends how they would show it. But I think the Batman at this point is just too young to have its Robin. Like, I would like to be Batman, like 40, 45, 50.
Yeah.
And then to bring some violent, teenager or young adult and make him like Robin, like to have troublesome Robin who is hothead, who is too brutal that sometimes Batman needs to stop him. That could be nice to tease with that idea, like this, young, wild, angry, person.
Yeah, no, but I mean, I
And
don't.
try to to temper this person to use its potential, but as well struggle as a father figure and struggle with just this anger and
You know, when I see Robin, I see the costume, and that's why I'm always like, that's not. But that's interesting.
Look, remember this movie Stirred Up about this young guy who ended up in a prison? It was a prison movie.
Yeah.
So imagine the concept of Robin being, for example, this kind of guy, also an orphan, who is angry because all his life he lived in a ghetto. He was just, life wasn't easy on him. He just needed to survive, like this troublesome kid in this movie. So imagine this kind of young person who Batman tries to, save to make him Robin because he sees potential, but at the same time to temper, work on traumas. and stuff like that. Like imagine this kind of Robin. That would be great, I think.
Yeah, no, that makes sense.
And also we would have this mirror effect, of course.
Of course, because it has to be
Batman
an
who
orphan.
overcame his, darkness,
And
but
yeah,
he sees even bigger darkness in someone
and
younger.
someone else.
And then possibilities are endless. Like imagine introduce this kind of Robin, and as Punisher said, like to Daredevil, you are one bad day away from me. So imagine like a potential storyline when after one or two movies with Robin instead of overcome his darkness, he becomes a villain. Or let's say Robin separates from Batman and becomes DC's Punisher, for example.
No, that's interesting. Like I'm uh, actually, if there is one character that needs some work and needs to be brought back and needs to be like, yeah,
Reimagined.
yeah, exactly. That's Robin. So that's interesting. To make something good out of Robin is like
Yeah.
a super cool idea.
And Robert Pattinson mentioned already Mr. Freeze as one of the potential villains, maybe. I cannot imagine that, but again, they made Riddler look realistic, so you never know. Especially with this climate change and stuff, possibilities again are endless. Mr. Freeze is a scientist. Usually, in one of the movies, the background was that he tried to save wife. So he can be like, I don't know, he can even be like bioterrorist who tries to terrorize people because his wife's dying. I don't know. Again, possibilities are endless,
Mm-hmm.
and that's nice. And I'm sure I'm not, a specialist. I was never into comic books, but I'm sure there are so many good villains out there
Mm-hmm.
that doesn't need to be Joker or even Two-Face or, one of
Mm-hmm.
those most famous. I'm sure there are many, many good villains. I wouldn't mind even bringing Tom Hardy again as Bane, like some different version of Bane. But like even with Bane, I know it was Christopher Nolan's movie, but they showed it can be interesting Bane
Mm-hmm.
because
Mm-hmm.
usually he's just unnatural, big, muscled guy who is almost like Hulk, and
Mm-hmm.
he's brainless.
Mm-hmm.
And here he was still like like he looked like a beast with those muscles.
Mm-hmm.
He was, a brutal killer, but he was smart. He was interesting. He had this, I don't know, interesting design, voice, and I don't know, he was intimidating,
Yeah.
and he was done great. So I wouldn't mind seeing this kind of Bane in the future as well.
Yeah, that could be. Yeah.
And they can also use other characters from DC Comics as well. I don't know. Talking about Punisher in DC's universes, they could bring Arrow and make Arrow some kind of this universe's Punisher and make two of them kinda. It would be nice to see because Arrow is a bit similar to Batman. So imagine two of them actually clashing, like egoistic Batman, who for example thinks that what he's doing is good, but another
Mm-hmm.
person do the same is a danger. So
And
like
that's
two
very Batman-like.
vigilantes working against themselves.
Yeah. And that's very Batman-like, because you have to say Batman is like, he's a gothic as well. Like, he's very sure about what he's doing. He's
Yeah.
very sure he's right. And he doesn't recognize his own addiction to that city and to the darkness. Like, he's not,
Yes.
yeah. So that would be interesting.
So yeah. Well, I had high expectations for this movie, and the movie met my expectations, and I think it was the best Batman live action movie so far.
I didn't have expectations, to be honest. I was worried about Pattinson being there.
Everyone was.
Oh yeah, I really was, and I'm sorry. I'm sorry for him. But no, it was a good movie. I had a really good moment. It was a really good movie.
Yeah, Robert Pattinson, if you are listening to this podcast, you are a very cool Batman.
Good job, man.
Respect, bro. Respect.
Ah, Yeah, but that's a good conclusion. It was a really good movie.
You know, this year, another movie comes out. It will be Flash movie, and there will be two Batmans from two different universes. There will be Michael Keaton's Batman and Ben Affleck's Batman in one movie.
Oh, that could be interesting.
Yeah,
That's
there will be
nice.
like time travel, multiverse. So
We need to buy some kind of cinema like abonnement or something.
first of all, before watching this movie, we will definitely have to watch Michael Keaton's movies, those from Tim Burton's, because
Okay.
he started in Tim Burton's movies,
Okay.
and finally Ben Affleck movie.
But we saw that. I'm sure we saw.
No, we saw Justice League.
Uh,
There is Ben Affleck there as Batman, but it is nowhere near the Batman versus Superman. Like Batman versus Superman is not an amazing movie. It's nice. All Batman stuff is amazing for me,
mm-hmm.
and that's it.
Okay.
And of course, I know you don't mind spoilers, so the Batman will smash a bit Superman's face, so you will love it.
Yeah.
Mary hates Superman,
I
so
really don't like Superman.
you will love the showdown between them.
Okay. No, I'm happy to watch.
Yeah. So anyway, I think everything that we wanted to discuss, we discussed.
Oh man, it's
And
long.
unlike the previous podcast, which wasn't perfect, and we weren't really that satisfied with it.
Yeah.
It's just our idea was like, if we wait for the right recording, we will never start. So we decided like, screw it, we will just post Matrix stuff just to begin, just to try the montage, like just to start, like a trial, let's say, demo. But well, with this, I'm pretty satisfied, and I'm satisfied with the movie I watched, because it's always nicer to talk about movie you liked. And just to close the Matrix topic, after reflecting on that again, the movie sucked. It was a bad movie. There was nothing
Yeah.
to say about that movie. That's why half of the previous podcast was even not about the movie.
Yeah. The movie was bad. Like, I'm sorry, but yeah.
Yep. So the movie was nice. It was nice to have something to say about movie and actually have a nice, decent conversation. And yeah, we will definitely rewatch some older Batman movies for Marie, so probably we will discuss them as well.
Yes. I like it.
Yes.
Yes.
Okay, so thanks everyone
Thank you.
for listening. We hope you enjoyed it. We hope you liked it. Of course, if you want, you can always share your opinions in comments if you agree with our points or what we liked, disliked, and anything. And see you guys around.
See you.
Bye.
Bye bye. See you soon.